Welcome to the BPD Bunch Brunch, where we get together with our favorite brunchy beverages to catch up, play games, and talk about all things BPD. I'm your host, Xannie, and today I'm here with Hak Ja and Jack and special guest Kiah. Where in the world is everyone coming from today, and what is your brunchy beverage?
I'm coming from New Jersey in the United States, and I have three brunchy beverages. I have water, orange juice, and I don't know if you're familiar, but I have Olipop. It's a probiotic drink.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she's got the beverage army going. I love it.
I'm coming from Atlanta, Georgia, United States, and I have a Washington apple. It's a concoction my family made up.
Sounds great.
And my name is Kiah. I am in Greenville, South Carolina, United States. And I have kombucha in my Golden Girls cup today.
Oh my gosh, your cup is amazing.
Love Golden Girls.
Love it.
I am coming from New Mexico in the US, and I just have mint tea in my coffee mug. It actually does say coffee on it. Today we are going to be chatting about what it's like to live with BPD and go through periods where we're either unemployed or struggle to maintain gainful employment. If this or other BPD-related topics interest you, please make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you do not miss a single episode. Now, since we do have a special guest here with us today, Kiah, could you just give us a quick summary of your BPD journey so that our audience can get to know you a little bit better?
Sure. So I was diagnosed with BPD in 2021. So kind of new with the diagnosis. I was actually referred to a specialist to confirm that I had ADHD, and did a few tests, and they confirmed that I had ADHD. But then underneath that diagnosis, it said borderline personality disorder. So I was freaking out because it was new to me. I never even heard of it. And someone being in healthcare, I was just shocked that I never heard of this diagnosis. So after researching, I definitely resonated with the diagnosis and a lot of the traits. And so now I'm just, dealing with it and gaining the tools to kind of manage it.
Welcome to the crew of diagnosed people with BPD. So now I've got a question sort of for everyone. Whoever wants to go first can. How have you struggled with maintaining gainful employment? Tell us the story.
I am currently unemployed right now. And it's that because when I'm not employed, I want to work so much. But if I do get employed, it's not long to where I could feel myself start spiraling into those dark thoughts and negative side of my BPD. So it's it's a weird. I gotta find that perfect fine line when I do get employment, and it's rough.
Yeah, I would say it is really exhausting to have a job. Before I even was diagnosed with BPD, I was always really struggling with that. But I think the hardest thing has always just been like the people there, like, coworkers, bosses, what have you. But the jobs themselves are, a job is a job. I don't feel like it's the most impossible thing to do, but it's like the people around or like the after effects of it, that's what's really draining.
For me, before I had a child, I had my daughter in 2018. It was very hard for me to stay at a job long. I think my longest job was 2 years, just because I think I just get overwhelmed at the job and want to find something new. And I get overwhelmed at that job and want to find something new. Now, after my daughter, it's like you can't just keep trying to find something new. You have to have some kind of stability. So like my longest job has been 2 years, and at the same company, it's been 5 years. So the jobs that I had within that company, I was able to kind of move up to a better job. So it was in that company. So I was proud of myself for staying with that company for 5 years. But yeah, I just would get bored easily or just overwhelmed and ready to go to the next thing.
So most recently, you had a more extended period of unemployment. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. So I was unemployed for a year. September 11th, 2023 was when I was laid off. And I made it to September 16th, 2024. I recently just got a job offer, so I started this week. Very hard year, extremely hard year. So being laid off, it definitely, for me, it felt like the end of the world. Definitely having a child and then having to uproot myself. I was in Atlanta. Atlanta, I made my home, met my friends, had a community, and I kicked and screamed to not leave. And then I had to leave and move in with my parents in South Carolina. Um, Definitely in a home where I feel is responsible for my BPD. And so it hasn't been the best situation, but I'm making it the best. And even though I had my first week of work this week, it has still been so overwhelming. This is the first time I started a job where I'm already kind of like, I don't even know if I want to do this, because I'm still dealing with everything that I've been dealing with throughout the layoff. But I know it will get better. That's the positive. But it's definitely been a hard time. I've applied to at least 200 jobs and had 10 to 20 interviews. And finally, I got a yes. So it was definitely a trying time and definitely affected my mental and emotional health through that time.
I've applied to over 200 jobs. 3 of the jobs I applied for were ghost postings, which means the jobs did not exist at all, anywhere.
I heard that's happening.
What's a ghost posting?
It is literally a way for corporations to know if people are interested in a potential job. So
But it doesn't actually exist yet.
Yes, exactly. 3 times. 3 effing times that's happened to me. Yes. Your face you're making right now is the exact same face. And the first time it happened, the second time it happened, it was more of a noise. It was like, what?
That seems
I've heard of that
The
throughout my search.
third time.
Yep, I've heard of that throughout my
The
search.
third time I damn near destroyed my laptop when it happened. I was at the library and I had to remember, like, I'm in a public place where other people are like, I can't blow up. So yes.
Jack, it's so bad. Like, I feel like your reactions are like all the things I've wanted to do, but like I just don't.
No, not only that, I'm counting on one hand how many interviews I had so far. I've been employed for almost a year now.
And they always say the same thing. After the interview, they'll send you an email. Oh, you are a great candidate. You are awesome. You're just not a fit at this time. And then towards the end, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to ask for feedback because I'm not understanding. And so I would email a really nice email. Hi, I'd like to get some feedback from you. I would like to understand why I didn't get the position. One lady, I think she felt bad for me, so she had me go on another interview. I still didn't get the job. Another lady, she said there were 4,000 candidates. I got through 3 out of 5 rounds. So that honestly made me feel good because out of 4,000 candidates, you took the time to interview me 3 times. But it's also the job market is crazy. So, and then a lot of people, and some people were just like, we just found somebody who better fit our needs. And it's nothing I can do about it.
I reapplied to a job I interviewed for. They said, oh, you already applied to this job. You can't apply for another 6 months. Like, it's still open. You still need it. I still need a job over. So yeah, I'm doing my best not to just give up on the job
Don't
search.
give up.
I'm on my last strings. Like I cried to my father one day because of how much it's been hurting. Like he took me to because something happened to where I was physically unhappy. Like my dad, my grandma could physically see that I was unhappy. I was going through something. So he took me to Applebee's just to go hang out, get a couple drinks, eat a little bit. And at the bar, I was crying about this job search.
I get it. I understand. I've lost 25 pounds because I haven't been able to eat because I've been so overwhelmed with the job search. And so, yeah, I've lost 25 pounds. And crazy thing is, be careful what you ask for because I wanted to lose weight, but I'm still not able to eat like I want to. I still haven't gotten my appetite back.
So how has it been for y'all managing periods of unemployment, and like how does that intersect with your experience of BPD?
It definitely makes it worse. I think the biggest thing for me is I really am bad at being alone. I still haven't quite figured that out. I'm losing my mind when I'm unemployed. Like this whole summer, I was unemployed because I'm currently a substitute teacher. So summers, any kind of breaks, I'm not working. Any kind of holidays, I'm not getting paid. Like without a schedule, without a job, I feel like my symptoms are like 10 times worse. And it feels like I also have 10 times less energy to do anything about it.
I've often felt that like I'm always looking forward to a break, but when I feel like I don't have a purpose or goal-directed activity in any kind of meaningful way, it really feels like my brain just becomes a playground for my inner critic to just flare up and depression to just flare up. And like it's interesting, but I find like the more I do, the more I can do. And periods of unemployment were always hard because like my dad would always say, if you're unemployed, you should treat finding a job like it is your job. Like you should spend 8 hours a day looking for a job instead of, working, because that is your job, right? And I understood intellectually what he was talking about, but putting that into practice, like that much completely self-directed behavior with nobody around to hold me accountable just felt impossible.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
No, I could never do that.
It's crazy for me because having a job is how I get 99% of my human interaction. I self-isolate like a mug. I enjoy being by myself. I enjoy being alone, isolated, nobody around me. So having a job is forced me to get out and actually interact with people because humans are social animals apparently. So it forced me to interact with people and be social. Without a job, I don't have that no more, which means I have more time and more opportunity to go to the dark spaces of my mind and let that self doubt sink in even more because I don't have nobody around me to say, Jack, you are a cool ass person. I love to work with you. You are hilarious or whatever. So yeah, without that, I'm stuck. I'm a hermit.
Kiah, what about you?
So yeah, my BPD has been amped 100%. I think for me, I have also a lot of mom guilt because this summer I really cannot do much with my daughter. She's seeing mommy in bed most of the time. The thing is with the BPD, although I'm really depressed, I'm really down, I'm really anxious, I still have to get up and be a mom. So I have to get up, make her breakfast. I have to entertain her. She's bored, she's an only child. And so that's been super difficult. I also broke my ankle in June. And I think that really affected me because with the BPD, I was trying to get out the house and do things. I'm a ballet dancer, so I was going to ballet class. I was going to yoga, and I broke my ankle during ballet class. And I was just like, what was me? Like, why would this happen? I'm trying to get out the house. I'm trying to do things because I don't have a job. I'm already out of it. So I'm trying to do things that make me happy. And now the universe is taking that away from me because now I can't dance. And it was very hard when I broke my ankle. Like I just was like, this can't happen. And also around the time I broke my ankle, I just applied to like in-person jobs because I was looking for remote jobs. So before I broke my ankle, I applied to in-person jobs. And so I'm like, okay, now I can't dance and I can't work in person. So now the jobs that are in person, you're taking that away from me. The universe is taking that away from me. So what is the bigger picture here? Because I'm really not understanding. And I just really could not grasp the fact that now I'm sitting here injured. I'm sitting here without a job. I have no money. So I have a hospital bill that's racking up. Why is this happening to me? And now I'm in a place where I'm not familiar with. I'm at my parents' house, even though I'm very blessed to be here at my parents' house. I have a roof over my head. At the same time, it's not good for me mentally. And so it's been affecting me just being in this space. I can just tell the energy is bad in this house. So it's a lot. And my mom also got diagnosed with dementia around the same time I lost my job. So I'm like, okay, keep coming with it, because I'm just not understanding why this is happening, but you got to deal with it.
It feels like you're being punished.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't know about you guys, but the thought that always comes in my head, like, bad things are happening to me because obviously I'm a bad person or something.
Exactly.
Like, what did I do to deserve all this? Like, why? Like, did I do something in my past life? Did I do something when I was young that I don't remember? Like, what?
Like, it feels like you deserve it. Like, because good things should happen to good people, logically, right? I don't know. Maybe that's not
makes
real.
Sense. I agree.
Yeah, I don't think I'm a good person. I think I'm a decent person at least. So at least decent things should happen to me. But oh no, you get shit on all the time.
I could settle for decent, but the universe is always testing us.
Yeah.
My next question is, so can you share a specific experience where your BPD impacted your ability to maintain a job? And what were the key challenges you faced? So this could be a situation where you were in a job and BPD made it hard, or it could be you were trying to find a job and BPD made it difficult.
Actually, my BPD cost me my military career. I was sent to the hospital. I got diagnosed. Well, while I was in the hospital, I was in my re-enlistment window where I could re-enlist for another contract, a military contract. My unit knew that they handled the whole situation wrong, so they kind of just kept telling me, "Oh yeah, we'll send the reenlistment officer to come talk to you in a little bit the next day, the next week," and just kept doing it until it was out my retention window where I could re-enlist. So I'm like, okay, so now I can re-enlist. I could go reservist, which means I got to do pretty much double the years to get retirement, or I could just get out of the military altogether. So I decided I'm just gonna get out of the military.
I don't know how you guys deal with confrontation, but I've always been really, really bad at it. You know, even if it was like just a teacher pulling me out of class, I would just start crying, like sobbing, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I don't know," like, and I can't stop. And so for work, this has always been like also a problem because I got called to have like a meeting with my boss and supervisor. But like everyone was having these meetings, but I didn't know what it was about. And it was just like kind of to go over how you've been doing and things like that. But I remember I started crying and I couldn't control myself and I couldn't calm down at that point. So they were like, what's going on? And I thought it was a smart idea to tell them like, oh, I have BPD, and like I was still newly diagnosed, so I didn't really understand like what you should and shouldn't do. But I told them, and then from that point on, they questioned every single thing that I did. They're like, are you even capable of doing your job? Are you even capable of handling these cases? Like, they kind of just bullied me out of the job, pretty much. You know, they made it impossible to do my job, even when I could handle it. I've found that anytime you disclose, it usually ends pretty badly, at least for me.
For me, when it comes to my BPD, now that I think about it, this was a long time ago. This was 2014. I had a job as an activities assistant at a nursing home. I have a bachelor's degree in gerontology, which is it's basically a healthcare degree focused on the 65 and over population. And so working at the nursing home, it kind of felt like my first big girl job out of college. And I worked there for about 2 years, loved what I did, got along with all of the residents, loved every single resident. There was one resident who I swear hated everybody but me. And I'm not trying to even be funny. She would yell at everybody, and then she'd see me, grab my hand and said, "Hey, they're being mean to me." They weren't, but she of course had dementia, but they say children and older people, they kind of have this sixth sense, they can tell energy. So I took that as a compliment. But I worked full time and I was training somebody to work part time. So after I finished training her, I got the schedule and now I have part-time hours. We never, talked about this. I'm a full-time worker. So of course, not my manager. I went to like her manager because I said, we have to discuss this. I don't understand why I have part-time hours and I didn't, agree to this. I think she was just saying some things to me, and maybe I blacked out or something happened where I just was like, look here, sweetie. And I think that's what I said, or honey, or something. We all know you should not be talking to somebody like that. I don't know where it came from, but I felt so disrespected by her that I just wasn't about to go for anything that she was saying. And I think I was at a point where it's just like, I'm ready to risk it all. And I'm walking back to my desk, and my manager, who, she looks so sad, she's like, Kiah, we're going to have to let you go. She said she's going to let you go. I don't think my manager wanted me to go, but she definitely wanted me to go. And I was crying hysterically. The residents' family members were like, what's going on? How could they fire you? You're the best person here. Take my number, take my information. I can't believe you're leaving. And that night, actually, I had to go to urgent care because I felt like I was having a heart attack. Come to find out, it was a panic attack. But I think that was the first time I ever got fired. And I got fired from a job that I was doing well at. The residents loved me, but I was fired, and it affected me physically, mentally. And I was just thinking so many thoughts like, I can't believe this. Like, how could you do this to me? And now that I look back on it, that was some of the BPD, because how I acted, I think it could have been different. And it's 10 years later, I will still always take that to heart. I will always take that to heart.
I literally had that same issue with my boss where I got fired. That was the first time I got fired too. And she literally growled at me. I have it on recording. Oh my gosh, she was growling at me. And I also lost my shit. I mean, I lost my mind. like you said, and I said some things, and also got fired. But I'm pretty sure I have PTSD from getting fired because that was so bad.
It was horrible. I couldn't believe I was in urgent care thinking I was having a heart attack. It was the worst pain I ever felt in my life. I really thought I was having a heart attack.
Yeah. She literally watched as I took down my whole room, and she's like, what do you even have here? Because she just took away my things the next day without asking me so she could take credit for all my work. And yeah, she walked me out of the school building, and all my students saw me crying, and it was so humiliating. They came and they hugged me. They're like, what are they doing? I was like, I don't know what's happening. This is so embarrassing. And I had to think about that for the next forever. So now when I work in schools, I try to avoid that one building just in fear, because I'm so terrified of seeing their faces again.
You're talking about being let go. I feel like I don't think I've ever been fired, because usually what would happen is there'd be some sort of explosive end, and then I would just not go back.
Yep.
They never said you're fired. I would have the last word and then just walk out and never go back. What coping strategies have you found helpful in managing the challenges of unemployment while living with BPD?
Yes, I'm unemployed, but I'm also self-employed technically, because I do have my own marketing and production company. So I stay busy doing my own projects. I'm working on my own animated series right now on Instagram, writing new scripts, trying to find new marketing clients, all of that. So I try to keep myself busy with the stuff what I actually want to do with my life. Having a job is just trying to have money to pay the bills. But there's also things I actually want to do with my life that I will put enough time and focus on. So while I don't have a job, I'm gonna put as much time and focus as I can on my own personal stuff. So those are my coping mechanisms. Just stay busy, work on your own stuff.
Yeah, and it's really hard to stay busy when you are not making money, because everything costs money. Not to put down going out and drinking, but I'm really trying hard to not do that, because it's the most, I guess in a way it's a cheaper alternative to doing something an activity where it's $50 to go to a museum or something like that. That's whatever. But it's it's the cheaper alternative, so that's what I would always turn to, go out and drink or whatever. But I feel that was not healthy, so I really tried hard to I need TV, but it's so bad because I will just lay on the couch and just watch TV all day, and I don't know if it's coping, but I mean, that's what I would do, because it's like I have to wait for everyone to get out of work, see if anyone's even free. I'd have to try to like make plans way in advance because I really couldn't handle it. So I would just play video games or watch TV all day. It was really bad. I'd just be rotting.
Girl, where are you going out where you're drinking for less than $50 a night? I feel like getting smashed is one of the most expensive things you can do.
Are you kidding me? There's Thirsty Thursday dollar drops. There's places where they have $5, $3 shots. You gotta know. Plus, I'm a big beer person, so I'm always good.
Hak Ja, here's the thing I noticed about myself. I've noticed the longer I've been employed, the closer happy hour is. Because before it was like, it's happy hour for me personally started at 7:00. But then the longer goes, like, okay, 6:00 happy hour, 5:00 happy hour. Like, I can't keep getting longer because I'm gonna be drunk at 10:00 in the morning soon. I can't be doing that.
No, it's just like I'm literally like, me and my friend will go to Applebee's all the time because
drinks.
they always got their.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And me and my friend will be the only ones on like a Monday afternoon, like getting drinks.
That sounds like so much fun. But for me, like I've never really been a drinker, and I think I was drinking when I was younger just to fit in. And then like 2 years ago, I decided that liquor is not for me, but I can do wine, beer, champagne. I can do those. But like before I lost my job, I was having a glass of wine every night just to kind of, relax. And what I said earlier, how I'm losing the weight because I really don't have an appetite. I don't have an appetite for wine anymore. So plus I don't have the money to buy it. So I don't really drink. I had my first drink last weekend in a while because I did go out just to celebrate that I got a job. But outside of drinking, my coping mechanisms, it was the dancing and yoga. I went to my first dance class last week since I broke my ankle because my ankle's pretty much, it's on the road to healing. They said there's bone growth, so I guess that means it's come together. But doing the ballet, doing the yoga, and also changing my mindset because sometimes I have to talk to my friends, and kudos to my friends because I will call them hysterically crying and I feel so bad because they have their own lives, and a lot of my friends are mothers. And I feel so bad, but I'm like boo-hoo crying. And they always kind of give me the wisdom to really continue. And like one of my best friend, she's like, why when I call you, you're always in the bed? Get up out of bed. And so my friends are my coping mechanisms because I think without them, I don't know what I'd be doing because they're the ones who tell me this is temporary. They're the ones who tell me, think about the life you had before and how you were working and how you were living a good life. You'll get back to that. So my friends and my family have been the ones who really kind of help me cope.
I would love for my friends to be my coping mechanism, but I always have the tendency to like repeat the same things over and over, and I don't want to like annoy them or burden them. I've had to really like learn to have a boundary with my friends because I used to overdo it too much. And now I think my coping mechanism is more like my therapist. If it wasn't for her, who I love so much, like I think I don't know, I would not be where I am right now. I wouldn't be doing any of these like coping anything. I wouldn't be trying to set boundaries with people. So I love her. And if she's watching this, I love you.
Are there any particular routines or practices that have helped you maintain your mental health during periods of job searching or unemployment?
It was hard to get into a routine. It still is. I was trying to wake up and, because most of the unemployment was during the summer, so my daughter was home. Wake up, get her situated. That's the first thing I do. And then I usually just get me a cup of chai tea, and then I start working on applying to jobs. For me, if applying to jobs got overwhelming, I would take some time to just not apply to jobs. I would just have to take a break because it got very overwhelming. But most of the time in the morning would be spent applying to jobs. And then after applying to jobs, I was so overwhelmed that I just spent the rest of the day in the bed and binged on my TV and my movies, which is unhealthy, I think. But that's is what I was able to do at the time. Now that I do have a job, I don't have a routine. I need to get one because it's so fresh and so new. But that's something I need to work on is getting a routine because it was definitely all over the place, a lot of roller coaster. Because some days I was feeling great. I felt like I could do whatever. I could have a routine and get things done and be very productive. And then some days I don't have a routine and I'm just in the bed and woe is me and I can't do much. So it really did depend a lot how I was feeling to get a routine together.
Mine's pretty similar to yours, Kiah, except like for me, I have my babies, but they're my cats. No one takes care of them except for me. So, but I know that if I don't do the very bare minimum for myself first, I will mess up the rest of my routine. So first I take care of myself, I go to the bathroom, brush my hair, brush my teeth, whatever I need to do. Sometimes I'll shower first, depending on how tired I am. And then I'll go and take care of my babies, and then go back to myself. But like when you're unemployed, it's really hard to do that every day because it's like, what's the point? But also if you're on medication, like you have to have a routine. Because I feel like when I'm unemployed, that's the easiest time where it is to like mess up with my meds. Because I'll just let my day go by and I'm like, I haven't taken my meds in 3 days. And I'm like, oh shit. And then you feel worse. And then, withdrawal. And yeah, you have to like really be on top of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of hard to maintain a routine when you're employed because you get depressed after a while, especially the longer it goes on. But yeah, mine is usually I wake up, go let my dog crypto out, let him go do his business, give him his food, his water, go take a shower, and then 9 times 6 I'll go to the library and start applying for jobs until about 5 o'clock or when I feel like I start getting overwhelmed and come home and start working on my animations or my other side projects I want to for myself. Yeah. But there are days where I don't do that because it's just like it's over. Like you said, it's overwhelming. It's depressing because it's like you want a job, you want to work. It's just but you keep getting rejected, and it's harder to try to keep up the same routine every day because it's not giving you nothing. It's not going nowhere. You don't see yourself moving forward on anything. You still feel stuck in the same position you were yesterday, the day before, last week, last month, last year.
Yeah. I will admit that I still don't have a routine that stays the same. Like pretty much ever. It's always changing. Like I don't take the shower at the same time every day. The only thing that's maybe routine is coffee in the morning. The one thing that I learned a while, and it's been a struggle. I haven't always been very good at it. But one of the things that I learned a long time ago was crucial for my mental health was sleep routine and sleep hygiene. And making sure that I am sleeping the same amount at the same time every day. I mean, I'm still struggling with it. But that's the one thing that if I'm having a hard time, I cannot sacrifice my sleep. Because that is when I start really losing my connection to reality. If I'm not sleeping well, or I'm sleeping vastly different hours at different times, I just slowly start to lose my grip on reality. And then anything else I'm doing, whether it's job searching or whatever, just goes down the drain. So I think sleep is the number one routine thing for me and has been for years.
Yeah, that's so important because my sleep has been all over the place. When I was really in that depression mode a few months ago, right before I broke my ankle, and then around the time I broke my ankle, I was taking melatonin just so I can go to sleep during the day because I couldn't face reality. So, and I couldn't go to sleep. So I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and take melatonin so I can take a nap. And then now I'm at the point where I'm so anxious about life right now that I can't sleep. So I go to bed after midnight. Also, even though she's 6, we're sleeping in the same bed because we're at my parents' house. So we're in one room. She's moving all over the place. I can't sleep. I have the anxiety. This past week, I've been having nightmares. So I'm like up every hour. I keep hearing things. I don't know if it's my dog or I don't know what it is, but I like little feet. So I think it might be my dog, but it wakes me up and then I'm just up. And so I've been lacking sleep, and I think that's been making me kind of just out of it, very emotional, very anxious, very snappy.
Yeah. Sleep with me are to be at odds a lot of times because if I'm really just in my feelings, I can literally stay up for 48 hours minimum. Like literally just stay up, not feeling tired at all. Just stay up because I'm just to my head to sleep. I will leave if I try to sleep, it will be the most unrestful sleep of my life. I'll be up all night tossing and turning, maybe trying to force my eyes closed and try to force myself to drift off. It won't work. So yes, yeah. So that's something that I personally need to work on. But sleep is very important. We need to all try to have a regular sleep routine at least.
Yeah, it's literally why I just quit my long-term assignment at a school because I think with work and school and all my other responsibilities, I think I was losing my mind a little bit and I could not fall asleep for the life of me. And I do take supplements, but not melatonin. I take magnesium for my sleep. And the bad thing about that is usually like it does make you feel really rested, but when you only get a few hours of sleep, you feel like super groggy. So
Oh
Mm.
it's
yeah.
so you
I was
actually
yeah.
need all the hours like to feel the full benefit of it. I've had nightmares my whole life, so I did try meds a couple times, but like same thing. If you don't get like at least your 8 hours, you feel like you got hit by a truck in the morning and you can't do anything the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't sleep
Yeah.
and I can't function during the day, I can't function at night. So it's like, yeah, it's definitely the biggest thing is
Yeah, and
sleep
it's
for
been hard
sure.
for me this week since this week was my first week. And I was, when you start your job, you train basically the whole week. And so I've been on
Mm-hmm.
Zooms all week and they're trying to explain stuff. And I'm just like, I can't even focus. I can't even concentrate. I, I don't know what to do. Like, am I retaining this information because I'm just out of it? And a lot of tears have been shed this week because I'm out of it.
So, what words of advice would you have for someone who is currently struggling with BPD and unemployment?
You just have to give yourself grace
Yeah.
because you don't really know. Like, you're just doing your best to survive at that point. It's like, especially when you have nothing to do and maybe no one to rely on, like, maybe you aren't the best version of yourself, but like, knowing that it's going to eventually pass, like, you have to just kind of go through the motions and give yourself grace that maybe, yeah, you're not doing so great, but it's just temporary and it'll pass eventually. You know what I mean? Because you can get so hyper fixated on the fact that like, oh my god, I'm depressed, I'm doing nothing with my life, like, and just feel really like bad all the time. So but that also just makes things 10 times worse for you and like how you interact with other people when you do get to see them. So it's like you have to just you just have to be patient with yourself and how you're feeling. Like, yeah, I don't feel good right now, and that's just the reality of like your situation for right now.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Hak Ja. Definitely giving yourself grace. Um, like I said earlier, your mindset is important. But definitely trying to remember that this is not going to last forever. With BPD, it may feel like it's going to last forever. I definitely did a lot of splitting, just thinking about this is the worst thing ever. Nothing compares. And not really seeing the good or the in between. I just couldn't see it. And people had to remind me that this is not going to last. Like, you're going to get through this. Also, the people reminding me, the village, my friends. I have a coworker who is like a mom. You know, I have a lot of religious people in my life, and they're like, you know, you got to pray about it. I'm more spiritual, but you know, they're just them praying for me and being there for me. Unfortunately, I can't really talk much to my parents about it, so I've kind of outsourced and kind of found other parents to talk to about it, family members. And then also resources. Resources have come in handy so much, whether it's being on government assistance or there's a lot of programs out there who can help you. I had a program that helps moms. They paid a little bit of my car note a few months ago. And so there's a lot of resources out there. You just kind of have to find them. You can go to different like fairs where they will have different resources for you, networking events, community events. And so just making sure that you are tapping into those resources, having that village, and then changing your mindset.
So Kiah, do you have any like final thoughts about this topic that you would want to share with our audience since you are our special guest for this episode?
No, just thank you for having me. As I mentioned, just being able to have a job again, you know, it's awesome. It's gonna still take me some time to kind of get back on my feet, I think. But it's really important that you do not isolate yourself during this time if you're unemployed. It may be easy to do so, but there are other people who are experiencing what you're experiencing. And then, like I said, your village, if they're really truly your friends and truly your family, they'll be there to support you. They will. They might not be able to help you financially, but they should be able to help you emotionally and mentally. And sometimes that's what you need to really get that push to make it through.
Well, thank you everyone so much for watching. We hope you got a nugget of wisdom to take with you on your journey. Thank you again, Kiah, for coming to chat with us about BPD and unemployment. And we will see you all next time. Bye.
Peace.
Hey.